What is up, YouTube? Dark God back again. Long hiatus. I feel like I say that every time before I start posting again. I really do got to get into a repetition of posting. I think once I do, I'll actually start putting out videos, weekly at minimum. But I said every year, so who knows if I'm actually going to do it. But it's October, which means it's time for the October Horror Movie Challenge. Some people do this where they watch a film a day. Some people do it where they watch a film a week. I do it through DVDtalk.com. And the way they've done it, this is their 15th year doing it, is try to watch 100 horror films in 31 days. And it's changed over the years. It starts at dusk on September 30th, actually, and goes till dawn on November 1st. And then this year they had Friday the 13th fell in September, so they did actually bonus day where you could watch any Friday the 13th film, any film involving black cats, any film involving superstition, and it would be included in your total. So, like I said, this 15th year they're doing it. It's my 14th year. I got in the second year. Only 2 years in that time frame did I not hit 100 films. So I usually do pretty good with this. I think my max is like 162, which was a year I was actually out with surgery. So I had a lot of time on my hands. I also do this through Letterboxd, which they do it. It's called Hooptober. It's run by a guy named Cinemonster on Letterboxd, and they do it's 33 films, and you have a bunch of different checklist items to hit. It's like 6 films from around the world, 7 films from different genre. From a different decade. You got, I think this year is like 3 or 4 films that you got to hit on an anniversary of 2019. So it's got to be from 69 before, and it's got to end in a 9. And on the DVD Talk portion, it's run by a guy named Chad, and the way they do it is the group that basically it's all the same people every year, and there's new people that join every year. We all get together and everybody votes for a theme night. So like certain nights might be zombie night or slasher night, and they get more into detail. It might be playground night where it's films that have scenes that take place in a playground or something. And they also do it where every night there's a movie pick for the day. And then there's also a big checklist. Get 10 actors. They give you 20 actors and they tell you pick a movie with 10 of them. There's like 6 or 7 directors. They pick 3 or 4, so on and so forth. And they do another portion of the checklist where it's pick a film that features a phobia, find a film that has an actor that you like that you've never seen, a film that you've never seen before, things like that nature. So basically, today's October 1st. I started last night. I watched the couple films. I'm not going to get into them. I'm just going to tell what they were. And also the Friday 13th portion of it, I watched Friday 13th 1 through 6. I'm not going to get into it. I mean, those are films that everybody's seen. Last night I watched Monster Squad, Night of the Living Dead, and the subset pick, which was DVD Talk also does. They do a challenge every month. So September is Criterion. So they do a crossover. So it's a movie that'll count for both challenges. So the September 30th pick was Videodrome. So I watched that. So Videodrome, Monster Squad, and Night of the Living Dead are all films I've seen before. So nothing different. So today's films that I watched, everything, I actually put in a good amount. I believe I watched 7. 7? Yeah. Anyway, a lot of them I'm trying to watch during the day. So I got to kind of limit what I watch. I don't want anything too gory, too violent, too over the top. So first film I watched, I actually recorded on MGM On Demand, was Burn Witch Burn. It's also called Night of the Eagle, I believe. And it's a cool film. It's about like witchcraft in the sense of a guy's success is tied to his wife possibly doing witchcraft, and he's trying to figure it out. And it's more, they get more in depth with it and everything, with the witch, like another, like, I guess, group of witches or something going against her. And it's interesting the way it's all set up and everything. It's also cool because it's witchcraft taken for, at the time, what would be modern times and thrown in there. It's not anything like memorable. It's got some cool stuff like that. I mean, there's one scene like with the gigantic eagle statue that's kind of like the memorable scene and everything, and another scene when this eagle attacks through the door. Those are kind of cool scenes and everything. I did like it though. It's not spooky per se or anything, but it's still a film that I give a 6 out of 10. It's something that it's kind of got that like Vincent Price AIP feel to it, but it's not. And I believe it's actually around the same time frame. I think it's early 60s. But it just, I don't know, there's something, it's not something I'd go crazy to like watch again. It's a cool atmospheric film. It's not anything that's really scary, like I said. It's got a couple cool moments where people notice something that's a little creepy, but it's not like there's anything that's over the top. It's, it's a good film nonetheless. Second film I watched was also an MGM On Demand, or recorded on MGM, was Tomb of Ligeia, which is a movie I've actually never seen before, and I always see it used to always be in the Netflix queue, and I would always have it saved. And I would never watch it, and I'm a big fan of Vincent Price. You know, I think he's one of the best like horror genre actors, and he does real good job at basically anything he does, even though he plays a similar character and everything. But which he does here again. But it's I liked it. It's cool. It's got a cool element of like a twist ending and everything. I mean, Vincent Price is just awesome, basically, anything he does. It's not anything like over the top scary. Again, it's better than I liked it better than Burn Witch Burn. But it's nothing that's like creepy or anything. It's a movie that could be watched in the background. You know, if your kids are around, they're not going to get freaked out or anything. You get your cat scare, you know, which is it's pretty early film. Like I think this is early 60. I believe it's also 62, 63. You get the cat jumping and scaring everybody. So you get like your trope in there and everything. I'd go probably 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, a little bit better than Burn Witch Burn. Third film I watched was Bela Lugosi's Invisible Ghost from the 40s. This is kind of like when Bela Lugosi was kind of split. Like he would do something for Universal, and he would do something for like the, you know, the Skid Row productions and everything. And not that this is a Skid Row production, but it's just it doesn't have those same. It doesn't have the same. I mean, it's good. It's better than like the Skid Row productions he was part of, but it's not as good as like the Universal films. It's cool like twist, and it's kind of like takes like a little bit of a modern approach where it's like it's kind of like a psychological horror film. Like, you know, he's traumatized and everything when you find out, and it's got cool elements. Again, not a scary film. Like a lot of these films, I mean, probably back in the 40s, you know, this was a fright fest, but right now it's like, you know, maybe because you're desensitized because you're used to seeing a lot of this stuff, and it's just something that, you know, it's not gonna like freak you out or anything. So it's good. It's middle of the road though for me. It's like 5 out of 10. Probably lower half of 5, like almost going into the negative, not negative numbers, but the lower half of the 10 rating scale. Fourth film, The Bat, another Vincent Price film. And this one I actually I thought was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It kind of sounded corny, and I thought it was going in an obvious direction, and I was like, you know, I really hope they're not going in that direction. I hope that's not who the killer is. But thinking, you know, this is a film from the 50s, you know, they're not going to have any cool twists or anything, and they actually still did have cool twists. And the character of the Bat, the killer, it's pretty cool. It's very basic. They give him these cool like claws and stuff, and he does like crazy things that you would see like almost like Batman do, like, you know, cutting the hole in the glass, pulling it out with like a suction cup to get in and everything. And it's cool. And again, you get Vincent Price, who I think over the course of the couple days, I think this is going to be like, I think I'm going to watch like 3 or 4 films with him because it's on Amazon Prime, so it's easy to watch. Like I said, his films aren't like viciously bad. I could have them with my son, you know, in the room and everything. He's not going to get scared or anything. And, you know, most of them are just ghost stories and everything. But The Bat, I would give a 6 out of 10. I also liked it. All the 4 of these films, by the way, were first-time watches. Everything else prior to this, like the Criterion crossover stuff and the September 13th stuff, were all stuff I've seen before. So these 4 films were all brand new watches. Fifth film, still staying with kind of like horror icons. 1939, I think, or 38, is The Ghoul with Boris Karloff. Which this is interesting because it's a Boris Karloff movie, but it's done in England. And I mean, you get Boris Karloff putting on the makeup and everything, and just he does his job amazing. It feels like it's kind of trying to be like a mummy movie without a mummy. You know, you get like a lot of like the Egyptian folklore and everything, and you get the gem from the tomb and everything. But it feels like they try too hard to go as a mummy movie without putting a mummy actually in the movie. And it's also kind of this cool seeing Boris Karloff, you know, be treated over there where like he's what he was over here, like this top level horror star and everything. They just bring him in and, you know, plug him in the movie, and it works. I mean, he's so underrated. I mean, you know, people talk about Frankenstein and everything, and like how, you know, iconic that is. But I feel like he gets like second shadow to Bela Lugosi because Dracula was always like a cooler character. Plus Bela kind of had like the resurgence with the Ed Wood movie when people learned about him and everything. I mean, you had the Bauhaus song about him. You really never got that about Boris Karloff, and it kind of stinks because Boris Karloff is right there. Like, I mean, him and Bela are on par with each other. Sixth movie I watched, bringing it all the way the other way, coming into modern times. Movie's only 2 years old. Terror of Hallows Eve. So This film, it reminded me of a film from the early 2000s called Satan's Little Helper. In this, it kind of had the same setup, but it's not as good as Satan's Little Helper. Satan's Little Helper is like a hidden gem that not many people know about. Everybody should check out. It's kind of the same thing, but it also kind of felt like almost like Wishmaster, where this thing is giving this guy all this power, and then at the end he just wants to change it where the creature wants the power back. So it's not a bad movie by any sense. It actually is pretty decent. It has a couple cool gore scenes, a couple twists that you don't expect. I liked it. I don't think it was amazing. It's 5 out of 10. I needed it for a couple of checks on my DVD talk checklist. I needed it for Eric Roberts, and I needed it for Doug Jones, who actually plays the creature in this, which is awesome because he's probably the best under heavy makeup acting guy. He's basically what Boris Karloff was in the 30s and 40s. That's what he is now. Last film of the night, also needed it for a check. Was by far and away probably the worst film I watched of the night was Bethany. The guy, the director, I actually follow on Instagram, and he follows me back. And he's a cool guy. He'll actually reply to people's stuff all the time. I just wasn't a big fan of the film. I needed it for check marks also, so I figured it's actually the director is one of the check marks. James Cullen Bresek, I think it is. And like I said, it has cool moments. Like, it kind of has a creepiness to it, and actually has a higher rating than I thought on IMDb. It's almost like a high 5, and I'd only go for like 4.5 on it. But apparently enough people liked it. It's kind of got cool moments, like I said. You get a cameo of Felissa Rose at the end. You get some other cameos in it and everything. What's his face? Yellow Eyes from Christmas Story. He's in it. You get a couple other people in there. But it's not anything like memorable. Like, it's a good film, but it feels like it's been done before. It feels like this is a film that I've seen before. So with that being said, it was watched for the checks. It was decent, but so far it's probably the worst film I watched of the challenge altogether. This is almost like in Friday the 13th. Actually, probably Friday the 13th 3 is probably better than it. So anyway, 7 films in the first night. Good start. It's not going to stay like this. There's going to be days where I watch one film. So we'll see what happens. But until then, catch you on the flip side.